This video is going to quickly discuss what you can do to prep for the new season that's up and coming in the next couple of days. I'm just going to gloss over stuff. I'm not going to go super in depth. I've done these seasonal preps each season, and the prep doesn't change for me really. There's a little bit of a change though with something because there's crafting now in the game. But other than that, the rest of it's the same. But I'll do one anyways, regardless, and just quickly gloss over it. So the first thing I'll cover is XP. So next season, the power level is only going up plus 10. So if you have 1560 in power for the, not regarding artifact power, just the gear score. Now I am, but I've just got odd pieces on. Obviously I've got 1560 helm. I've got all the stuff. I'm 1560 in pinnacle score. Next season it will be 1570. That's the hard cap. So I only have to grind pinnacle score. But that's not the only thing you've got to grind, because that's not actually completely true. They are just saying it's only going up plus 10, but it's not really just going up 10. It's actually going up. You have to actually grind up some XP because you lose your artifact bonus this season. You then need to regrind a plus 20 bonus for next season. If you want to farm master content, there's a new dungeon coming out. Now, we don't know the exact power level of that. They've stated standard dungeon level. They haven't told you what the master is, which I'm a bit sheepish about why they haven't done that. They should just say what the power level is. However, all other master content will be in line with what the master level is. So, the master level of content in this game, let's just use the Nightfall because it's the easiest way to explain it. 1560 is the max gear score this season. Master content is always 20 power level above that. So it's 1580 this season, which means next season it's 1590. It's just going up 10 level. But we've known that Master Grasp of Avarice and Master Vogue has been more than that. It's been 30. You've had to grind out 30 artifact power to be on power with that activity. I know you don't have to, but if you are at power, I don't care what anyone says, it's easy to farm when you're at power. You know, it's not always just about the sweats. It's sometimes just about wanting to farm something. And if you're at power, it's kind of nice, you know. So that's changing though. Like Master Grasp of Avarice is just going to be in line with the Master Nightfall level, right? Master Vogue will be. The new dungeon's going to have a master difficulty. I don't know. I can't say to you right now. You won't need to, you know, grind so much level-wise because they haven't said. I'm a bit sheepish. I think they're going to just maybe have it plus 30 where it's going to be 1600 power. I have a hunch that it will be, but I hope it's not, and I hope it's just 1590, which means you just need to grind 10 pinnacle powers and a plus 20 artifact power. So the plus 20 artifact power, you can essentially earn plus 10 artifact power within 1 week. And the way to do that is stack the bounties. So to stack the bounties, this is more potent the more characters that you have. If you don't have 3 characters, I don't even recommend that you do it. If you've only got 1 character, you're really just wasting your time. Just leave it. Just start playing when the season comes out. But with 3 characters, alright, it's worth your time. You want to prioritize weekly bounties over dailies, and you want to prioritize dailies over repeatables. Repeatables offer the least amount of XP out of all the bounties. Like, they're really bad. They're only good for when dailies run out, and that's when you're grinding mid-season. When you're prepping, weeklies. The more weeklies you get, the whole thing will give you more power. Now, as I said, if you do this across 3 characters, which will be 180 bounties, I know Guardian Games is up and it's taken up some of your slots, so it's going to be 60 bounties. You know, you might be able to, you know, abandon some of these. These you can't. I guess this one you can at some point. But regardless, it's 60 bounties per character. So the bounties that you want to do, well, there's lots of dailies on all the planets. So Nessus, Moon. Moon's a good one. What else is there? EDZ, you know. But Cosmodrome. But really, you want to prioritize weeklies. So weeklies are clan bounties. You can keep going with those. There's plenty of clan bounties. I didn't do many. But I focused on the Dreaming City, which I'll come back to. The Europe is very good for dailies because you can chain the dailies while doing a weekly. And not only that, because the weekly Master Empire Hunt mission rotates, because the reason for that is because there's 3 different bosses, which means there's 3 different weekly associated bounties with each boss, and it rotates. So you can have lots of weeklies from Europa. So Europa is really good. Obviously, it doesn't matter to you if you're only just doing it now, though. You've missed out on all the weeks. So next time, if you're prepping, start prepping 5 weeks before the season starts, not just 1 week. And that's what I sort of done because I could get more weeklies built up. Cosmodrome's really easy. We don't need to sort of go over that too much. You know, it's public events, etc. Um, what else is the nightmares are okay. There's the two, and you're done. A couple of dailies, they're not that good. Moon's really good. The weeklies are good to do, but you only can pick up two, and you're done with it. Throne World's not that good. It's got some dailies. If you want to backfill, this is what's on. Then use it to backfill to fill up the slots when you've got no weeklies to pick up. Vanguard, Gunsmith, self-explanatory. They're good to do. They're fine to backfill, but then they don't offer weeklies. So, but coming back to the Dreaming City thing, so just look at my bounties. I've got Ascendant Challenge, Ascendant Challenge, Ascendant Challenge, right? Ascendant Challenge. Why have I got so many Ascendant Challenges? Well, because you can keep picking them up. You can't pick a lot up in 1 week, though. You can only pick up one per week. But if you start, like, as I said, for the, not this season come, but the next one after that, if you start 4 or 5 weeks beforehand, you can have like 5 Ascendant Challenge weeklies. Also, there's the Gateway Between Worlds weekly, which is really easy to do. The Blind Well doesn't take long to do, and it's worth doing. You know, while you're prepping it, do this on all 3 characters, and you'll get a good effect of it. You'll get a plus 6, 7 artifact power, and if you play a lot that week, you will get a plus 10 artifact power plus. Above that, that means you've done half of your XP grind for the season in 1 week. Because as I said earlier, you only need to go up plus 20 artifact power next season. You don't need to go 30 unless the dungeon's higher. But if it is, then just going under leveled is what it is. But the Master Grasp and stuff and Master Vogue and all that is going to be in line with Master level. So it'll be just a plus 20, which is far easier than plus 30. Plus 30 is so much more XP than the plus 20. I'm comfortable with the plus 20 artifact. That's fine. So that's the XP covered. In terms of endgame materials, now I haven't done this because I've already made a video about the Master Grasp of Avarice farm. So I masterworked so many pieces these last few days. I've sort of begun to run out of shards, but I'll easy backfill those up this week. Very easy to do that. I only recommend you get 1 stack of 10 shards and then 50 prisms. That's all you need to do with endgame mats. Don't go any more than that. If you're somebody who has God roll armor everywhere, knocking about in your vault and all your characters, you don't need 30 shards. Whoever like is stacking shards in your postmaster, you don't need to do that. Unless you're like a brand new player or something. But even if you're a brand new player, I highly doubt that you're doing that anyways. So yeah, just 1 stack is good enough. 1 stack of 10, which I'll do that before the new season starts. Ascendant alloys is for crafting. I recommend having 10 of those. That's good enough. Right, you're not going to be crafting 5 God roll weapons within 1 week. I mean, you might do, but if you do and you run out, then just go and farm the rest. They're not too hard to get. You can get them from like Throne World missions and stuff like that on Master difficulty and Wellspring, I believe. So that's that covered. Glimmer wise, you can make sure you get 250k Glimmer. That's a huge thing. Make sure you do that. And also, one thing I forgot to mention is make sure that you put on an XP ghost when you're handing those bounties in, and make sure you do it with a fire team member to get the shared wisdom. Make sure you just go somewhere to do that with somebody. Make sure that it's procced. Don't just do it in orbit. So yeah, with the Glimmer thing, make sure you get max Glimmer, and what you can do is buy more ships and stack them in the vault. You can stack them in the vault and then preserve Glimmer that way. So how you do that? Well, most people know this. So if you know this, please don't comment about other ships and sparrows that do work this way, because it really doesn't matter. I just go with what I know that works, and I'm not really interested in other sparrows or ships that do it. It doesn't matter. The same principle is that pick up a ship, put it in your vault. Yeah, it's 7,500 Glimmer, but when you dismantle it, you'll get Glimmer back. You can do it with Zavala's Authority, which is from Season 3, or you can do it with the other side Sparrow. And there's loads of them, but as I said, I haven't got time to tell you what all they are. Right, there's that one there. And then just store them in the vault. So that's Glimmer out of the way. I wouldn't highly recommend that you really need to do that, because you're only going up plus 10 power, so it's not a huge deal to be stacking Glimmer and stuff. Again, it's not really needed so much. So that's that covered. I guess one other thing is make sure that you do the white bounties to get the synth waves. You want to do that because armor's only going to get better and better in this game in terms of how it looks, and we all like a good ornament, right? And if you want to get like, new gear comes out and you want to ornament that and you haven't got a good roll on that piece, then you can go ahead and do that. Like I'm on healthy numbers. You get 10 white bounties per season and that then resets every season. So make sure if you're on 10 white bounties this week, get some of them knocked out, 3 or 4, just so you can get your ornaments back up. If you're somebody that doesn't want to buy them from the store, which I certainly don't, then make sure you do a couple of white bounties, get your synth waves up on whatever character that you main, right? So that's that covered. In terms of the last thing I want to talk about, this is the biggest thing. So the relic tether, the item that's in your inventory, tells you what your mats are. The ruinous element, the adroit element, all that stuff's going to get removed from the game. There's only going to be neutral element that you need to craft weapons. Obviously shards, you put a bit of shards in and stuff. But mainly it's neutral element and ascendant alloys, I guess. 10,000 is max. Now, I recommend that you get as close to max as you can. Do not God roll craft any weapon this season because they're going to add weapons to the crafting table. They said that they will gradually do this. Now, they haven't specifically said that they're going to add some next season or the season after. We don't know when they are. We don't really know anything, do we? But they are going to gradually do that. And if they do it, which I think they will do, I think they're going to add some of the weapons to the crafting table. That way, day one, I can go in, and if there's a weapon that's really powerful, I can craft it as soon as. And it's done. The only thing with this is, right, it takes 4,000 neutral element, 2,000 per enhanced perk to God roll craft. So that's 4,000 per weapon. So I can only God roll craft 2 weapons, 2.5 weapons with these materials that I have. So I have a solution for this, and the solution is your vault. So your vault's going up 100 spots. Right now it's 500. It's going to go to 600. Now I actually just done a vault clear. I know I'm on 479, but there's a thing. There's actually a reason for that. So I've done a little bit of vault clear. I wish I hadn't now, because they've told us. But it is what it is. So if you are clearing some things, make them room. Get your vault stacked up with deepsight resonance weapons because they hold neutral element inside them. So even though you've got 10,000 max, you can stack more neutral element. You can get up to 30,000, 40,000 neutral element depending on how far and crazy you go with it. I've got nearly 60 weapons. It's 300 neutral element per weapon. 60 weapons would be about 18,000 neutral element for me. Plus my 10k from my relic tether, that's 28,000. So call it 30,000 by the end of the week. Probably when I get there with more deep sight. That's a few weapons that I can craft. That's going to be 6-7 weapons I can God roll craft. And I just keep on top of it. So yeah, like I'll just show you here. So I've got all these kinetics, more energies. If you're really picky on what deep sight weapons to do primaries. Shotguns are terrible. Auto rifles, SMGs, like Guardian Games has been good to me, as you can see. I just keep getting lots of red weapons, right? So yeah, so you just stuck it all in your vault. Especially now you're going to get extra 100 slots free. If you had 100 deep sight resonance weapons in, because some people don't have vaults like me. Some people have vaults that are way less. They only keep the absolute God roll stuff. I'm not like that. I keep God roll stuff and off meta stuff that I think might be good or useful to me in the future. But as I said, it is really expensive, the crafting. If you don't believe me, I'll quickly show you. Because the only thing is, if you want to masterwork a crafted weapon, you need to put 2 enhanced perks on it. So as I said, you're going to have to do this if you want to masterwork your bow. So let's just take you through. So this my fell taradiddle, whatever it's called, right? So say obviously this has got roll, but say I change it. Say I just put this stuff on. Look, so it's 4,000 neutral element down already, and 2 ascendant alloys. The energetic element will be removed, ruinous will be removed, but that's still costly. And they haven't said anywhere where they're going to reduce this cost. I don't think so. They've said a lot of stuff. I don't believe they've said that anywhere. I hope that they do. We don't know. But as I said, if you've got nothing to craft right now, don't do it. Don't mess around with your mats. because as I said, they're gonna add stuff to this gradually. For example, there's no sword to craft. At some point, we're gonna get a sword to craft because it's there. Swords, lest they wouldn't have that on the page. You're obviously gonna get stuff to craft. So really, that's the most important to take from the video is stack deep sight weapons in your vault. You've got 100 slots spare now. Everybody has technically, on top of what you had. The bounties, prep them if you're busy next week like me. It helps you out. As I said, I'll get to +7, 8 artifact power, and I'm busy working, and I'm still the highest power. That's decent for somebody like me. If you're not at work, you don't need to do no prep because you've got all the time in the world to be leveling up next season. That's the video on it. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.